Hey guys, welcome back to SLT Learning, and this is Ankit Prajapati, and today we're gonna cover another questions on Selenium for QA automation engineer job role. So if you are preparing for the QA automation job role, then I will suggest just go through this playlist. You will find most of the commonly asked questions by the different MNC in this playlist. So let's see what we're gonna cover today. Okay, so what is singleton design pattern? And this is the question is mainly asked to the automation engineer, not the manual QA engineer. It will be like if you are having the more than 4 or 5 year of experience, then they want to see your automation framework knowledge, and that's why they ask you this question. Okay, so what is singleton design pattern over here? So the singleton design pattern will be the creation design the creating the design pattern that ensure that you will have one instance throughout your class. Okay, so whatever the operation you do throughout your automation script, you should have only one instance of that class, and you can perform certain actions, so that will avoid many conflict like the multi-threaded issues and all those things. So that's why if you want to create right automation framework at that time, if you remember, we create a base class. So base class creation and using the base class throughout your page class, that is one of the example of singleton design pattern. Okay guys, so implementing the singleton design pattern in Selenium automation framework is the best practice of managing the WebDriver instance, as I told you. Okay, to ensure only one browser session is active at a time during the test execution. So this is the way you can implement the singleton design pattern. If they ask, okay, what is singleton design pattern and where you have used in your automation framework, so you can just mention managing the WebDriver instance, ensure to have only one browser session is active at a time of the test case execution. Okay, and why singleton in web for WebDriver? So first things, you want a single instance of WebDriver per test thread. Okay, multiple instances can lead browser collisions, session conflict, and resource leakage. It centralized driver configuration and promote reusability. So for that one, we have base class and where we configure all the driver related stuffs over there itself. Okay, and that's why singleton is very much useful for a Selenium WebDriver. Let's see how we can implement a singleton WebDriver in Java. So first things, you need to create the driver manager class where you need to define the private static instance, which is private static WebDriver driver. Now private constructor as well for this class that you need to implement. And what you need to simply do, you need to define the properties and this particular default behavior of your driver. Okay, like this way, driver.manage.window.maximize. So it will set up the property, it will create the instance. If the driver is equal to none, when you use this get driver, okay, it will check for the driver instance. If already there, then it will directly return the driver. But if it is not there, like driver instance is none, then it will set up the properties for the Chrome driver or Firefox driver, whatever driver you have set up as default, and then it will maximize the window for you. And once you create this driver manager class with this particular syntax and structure, what you need to do, you can implement in your base class, and this is public class base class protected WebDriver driver, and this driver is equal to driver manager dot get driver. Okay, this is how you can directly call driver manager dot get driver, and this is the best example of singleton design pattern in Selenium automation framework. So if this will be asked in your interview questions, explain like that way. We use in a WebDriver instance creation to have a single instance for the one browser at a time to avoid the browser collisions, sessions conflict, and the resource